Hi, Davi here, and today we have a new episode in the art review series, and today we'll be checking out the work of Ika OOI1 or Ika. We'll just say Ika. So I think I found their work first through this piece, and I just love the contrast, the colors. They're so like vibrant, and let me just see their full feed here. So lots of fun. I think this is from the Demon Slayer. I haven't seen this guy yet. I think he's in the movie, the final movie. I haven't seen it yet, so don't spoil me. But oh, it's Zenitsu, right? I believe they're like old students or something. Look at that. Let me just see this Zenitsu. Look at that. Is this character? He's often like the Joker, or just maybe not the Joker, but he's the more cowardly type, and he can kind of lock in and turn that off when he's in like a super stressful moment. But in a way, it's sort of not him. But I think in this upcoming, or in the final film, he sort of doesn't have to hide behind like that thing, because I think he kind of sleeps whenever he like locks in technically, but I think it's like the awakened version in that film, so you can sort of see that serious look, and I think they were able to capture it with this illustration or sketch. And it's not like a full rendering, right? Like it's not super tight, but it feels so complete. Like it's, to me, it does not need any more work. Like the message is there, and I think that's important. For someone like me, if you're kind of sketchy or you're just impatient, like you know who you are, I think sometimes it can be frustrating. For example, you make something that's kind of quick, it's not like a fully rendered thing, but you sort of feel like it's still lacking. And I think it's because the message, the idea is not clear. Even if your illustration is not fully like refined, but it's a message, the idea is sort of undeniable, and it like shows. I think that's what makes it complete. So just focus more on the message. Like what exactly are you trying to say with the image? You can make, for as long as the like not everything in the illustration has to make sense or has to be clear, but something has to be clear. So interesting. If you look at their brush strokes, I do see a bit of a watercolor edge turned on, so it does give off that watercolor-esque vibes. Very cool. Do they have line art? I think their line art is basically like pencil for the most part, or it's like a rough line, or maybe just a very small watercolor-esque brush, but it's not like a typical like line art. Let me go back here. Yeah, there's line art, but it's like charcoal pencil kind of thing. It's kind of rough. Has a bit of texture. Interesting. Let me go back. It's the one of the Hashiras, the first one. Am I? Interesting. Even the knuckles look nice. Yeah, I don't see texture as well in their paint strokes. It's just like a basic round brush with that watercolor edge and some gradients. Well, a bit of that. The subsurface scattering applied to non-skin areas? I don't think so. Maybe it does. But it does have, like, in between that light and that shadow, there's oftentimes a saturated color. Usually it's an orange, but in this case, maybe it's because of the material, I'm not sure, but I've seen artists like play around with that color. Usually it's orange or like yellow or red even, but you know, you can pick any color really, for as long as the value is there, for as long as you can feel like the hotness or the saturation-ness, I think it works. Interesting, they're simply making or showing this part as like flat almost. I'm guessing it's supposed to represent like a very hot like light source to the point where it's like one value. It kind of gives off a bit of that a slightly high exposure effect, where the areas in light are often just blank. So, but interesting, usually they would leave it even without the lines, but here they do include the line art for the hair. And you can look at the pencil strokes, lots of texture. To me, this is kind of clean. I envy. But it's clean, but if you zoom in, you can see, like, for example, the way the pants were rendered. But I think they're approaching it in two ways. The line drawing has to be there to make the rendering sort of easier. But oh, I like the way they do the backgrounds too. It's not like an environment, but it just looks interesting. It's just a bunch of brush strokes. Like it looks like a smoke kind of effect. The orange in the background, it just seems so cool. The textures too, look at that. How it fades out into like that dark green, I think. Maybe they used the liquify. I'm guessing these effects are obviously on their own layer, but maybe they used the liquify to make it so, and maybe add a bit of opacity in there. I like the way they're doing the knuckles. I want to learn that. It's so like fluid too. It kind of makes sense why they would use the watercolor edge feature in their brushes, because the way they paint seems kind of watery as well. Like it seems to like squiggle around like, you know, water, right? So it kind of makes sense. But again, there's structure in their work because the drawing does help. And I guess if you're very intimidated by line art, because when you think line art, you think ink work, right? And oftentimes these people, they tend to have super fine, like you can tell it's like super stabilized, and oftentimes they don't even rely on the stabilization of their program. It's just like they're very good at just doing very clean lines. If you have issue with that, maybe just switch your medium to something more like this, like a pencil kind of brush, where it's kind of rough maybe. Or I'm sorry, I thought there was something crawling in my ear. I think it's just my hair. I'm afraid when that happens, by the way, because I've seen some videos online. Let me drink some coffee. Like they're trying to pick out with like a what they call it, like a pincer, some kind of picking tool, because there's like a bug inside someone's ear. I get so paranoid when that happens. Oh, who this? Oh yeah, it's the bad guy. Pretty cool. I like the effects. And yeah, you can make let me just see the other ones. The background here is like plain white, but they can still, oh, it's kind of hot here, kind of zesty in a good way. I mean, meaning if we were alone and, you know, and we were both lonely, it's, you know, things happen, right? No one has to know. I'm sorry. Look at it. It's like the perfect dichotomy. Oh wait, why is it so small? Let me just zoom in. Oh, the image itself is small. I'm sorry. So some sketch. Let me go back to the Chainsaw Man stuff. I've seen so much fan art of these. I think I actually thought this was a girl when I watched the anime, because I think the voice actor is an actress. It's actually a chick. So I just assumed it was like a chick, but it wasn't. I think he just has long hair. I think it's just called Angel, or the Angel Demon or Devil. Someone mentioned it in my X or Twitter account. Just Angel. I've only seen like I think in the last episode we see this guy, and apparently you can't touch him, like, because he will die. And indeed, the not safe for work art that I typically see, this guy, I forgot his name, his Aki, he has to find a way. He often has to like use gloves to use protection to involve himself with this angel guy, and it's kind of fun. In fact, in a way, it makes the relationship a lot more fun, because there's like, oh, you can't touch him in a way, but like you're touching it, but at the same time you can't really touch it. Interesting. Lots of black. Well, let's look at this part. Okay, did they use heavy blacks in this work? I mean, there's still contrast. Lots of heavier values. Oh, let's go back here. Let's bring this guy in. Oh. Right, lots of heavy blacks here. And even that black area has a bit of texture to it. Look at that. It's like a charcoal brush. I like the vibe. It looks really good because in the edge you can see a bit of that jitter. I think it looks really good. Right, it's technically line art, but it's not, again, what you associate with line art. But it looks clean. It looks good. But it doesn't look cluttered. It's hard to see even like the rough sketch lines, because there are some artists like to include those, but here I think they just removed it. In a way, it's the final line art, but it has that sketchy rough vibe. I think the texture helps. The jittery texture helps. How it kind of fades out in some tips, right? You can see a bit of like lightness there. Very cool. And when they render for this one, it's just flats. I don't even see like a second value for like a shadow. It's just all flat. Very cool. But look at how it looks complete, right? Oh, maybe for the face a bit. Just that pink. And the ear, right? Oh, look at that. Now kiss. Now kiss. Let's look at this guy. Look. I like the vibe. It's so like textury, but it's not from like. It's not. It's from the. It's at the edge of the brush. It's not within the brush. I mean, this part over here, it's different where the texture is within the brush, right? But for the most part, I mean here as well. Maybe it's some shadows. Oh yeah, maybe. Okay, it's there's quite a bit of that. Sorry. But aside from that, yeah, the brush they use for the lines, it works for me. Sometimes my fear is, it can look a bit too crayony. It's a word I'm making up. For those of you who have used crayons, which everyone has, I guess, used crayons, it doesn't look good. Like it has like a thick, like it's hard to make lines from it. So that's kind of my fear when using brushes like these. But I think I'm being like awakened, or my mindset is shifting in terms of what's possible. But I think this is Bomb Girl or Bomb Devil. She's gonna be the new movie. Is this supposed to be like dynamite? I'm not even sure. Because it looks like armor to me, but maybe it's dynamite. I think she's supposed to be Reze, the one with the purple hair, and that she's actually like the bomb girl. Don't spoil me. I don't watch or I don't read manga. Because I've already been spoiled once in regards to, what's her name again? Power. I saw like someone just posted it. You don't even have to write anything. If you just post the freaking page or that panel, like you know what's gonna happen. So F the internet. Well, not all, because some people do have culture, they have morals and ethics. Some people don't. So interesting. Nice highlights here. The orange really does help. It gives you that, the blue. It's like a contrasting thing, right? The cooler temperature in the background. It's actually quite saturated, the blue. It's pretty strong, but I think it works. Because if you look at the orange, it's also quite saturated already. So if you have two saturated areas in opposite like temperature, for example, in the cooler side and in the warmer side, if you both have saturated colors in both areas, it can be a bit too much. But I think it's because the proportions are kind of different. I mean, yeah, there's like the orange here is saturated, but it's not like taking over large areas. It's very like at the tip almost. It's not like a big shape. like little like droplets of love, right? Yeah, look at that, it's so cool. Okay, let's move on. Excuse me. We have another scene here. It's the I'm not sure where she pulls that, because I know Denji here, I think his name is Denji, right? He pulls this from his chest. I can't see where the, is it in her neck or in her head? I'm not sure. I can't see because the flash here is like pretty cool. Oh, nice armpit. I do see lots of, yeah, again, it's that round brush with that watercolor edge. Now this part seems a bit blended, but I think it's with the same brush as well. The background, the splatter effects, it looks really good. It kind of adds a bit of motion, right, without necessarily adding like an environment. Same color for this like in-between thing, the subsurface thing, in between the light and the shadow. It's still purple or pink, purple pink. Kind of like the Demon Slayer fan art we've seen. They tend to like that purple kind of look, or pink, pink blue. Look at that. Denji-kun. Oh no, she's hot. Interesting. So these paint strokes were done in its own layer, but you can tell they added a bit of a gradient. Interesting. And the shadow as well for that. Yeah. But notice how it's not everything is painted. For example, the face, you can see like a large area where you don't even see the stroke, maybe a bit of a gradient. It's very close to like a flat color. That's something I still have to get used to doing, because I have a habit of painting everything, but not everything has to be painted. You could sort of leave the base color as it is. But it's pretty clean. To me, it's finished. I forgot, oh, we haven't seen this one yet in the anime, but I think it's the same girl, but she's like dual like versions. I think she's like the war devil, I don't know. But I do like the scar. Kinda hot. Well, is it really the scar, or is it because of, I mean, the scar helps, but it's already because she's already attractive to begin with, so it just, I don't know, it adds more personality to that face. But the face is already like cool to begin with. Yeah, I like the way they're using the blacks. It's so like textury, like a charcoal pencil that's a bit constrained, because, you know, for those of you who have used charcoal, like it tends to smudge too much. Like it's not a very bold, like you can make bold strokes, but it just smudges. Like that's the design of it. So I would love a pen. Well, there's a pencil called Black Wing something. I haven't bought. It's so expensive. It's like 34. I saw it on Amazon. 34 bucks. Fuck. It's so pricey. You could buy so many noodles, by the way. But one day I'm going to try one of those. It seems so like exquisite too. Like, ooh, like top notch. But you know, most of us, for me anyway, I do mostly digital art anyway, so yeah, I'll try to. Can I make something like this? I don't know, maybe. We'll see. Because I do like the vibes. Because they have like the... Are they using the same brush for the lines? Right? They're using the same thing for this like big, large, chunky, black filled in areas, or fill-ins, as I like to call them. Interesting, the highlights here are like blue, so it's like a cyan almost. That's the spots. It's big. It's like a backlit sort of piece a little bit, but the background is like red, so it's like a contrasting thing. The highlights are kind of cool. They're in the cooler temperature side, and then it's complemented by its opposite in the background. It's just a plain red and quite saturated background. Very cool. And the folds are really good. Like I feel like it's twisting. Not just for the shirt here, but for the actual like dress or yeah. Where'd it go? Why is it so cool? Oh, it's Denjika. Before he gained his like eye, and before Pochita like merged with him. Oh, it's so kawaii. I kind of miss. Sorry, something just. It's one of those notifications that don't matter anyway. Oh fuck, my coffee's so hot. It like burned my tongue a bit. Right? The rendering, we don't see so much of that like round brush with the watercolor edge. But we do see, first of all, the flats, okay. The base flat colors are there, but you see, especially in like their clothing here, it's like watercolor wash kind of thing, texture. It looks good. Looks good. But then again, for example, for this like Pochita character, that's the name I think. Pochita. Look at how the orange here is just one value. It's not. I mean, you have like some parts here in the corners, but it's the bulk of it is just one value. And that's what I mean. Like, not everything has to be completely rendered. Like, you want to allow your base colors to do a bit of work or a lot of work. So focusing on, for example, just rendering the shadows and adding the highlights as well. After adding the shadows, it's I think it's I guess I'm just so used to painting directly that I kind of do it all at once. So it's not a bad thing, but it's just because of my background, because of my experience. It's a different process. For example, here clearly the lines have to be there, the drawing has to be solid, so lots of reworking there until you have like a good drawing to be able to paint or render. But once you do render, you still have to be picky with how you do it. You know, you can't just be all impressionistic like me. Interesting for the shadows. For some parts, it's like a basic brown brush. I don't even see like a watercolor edge. It's just a basic brown. I mean, maybe for this part, it's like darker brown. For the more pinky kind of shadow, it's like a basic round brush. Interesting. It's they're like running or something. Like it's all within like one silhouette. It's like a blob silhouette. Meaning, because oftentimes if you want like a good composition, you want to make sure that even if the whole thing is in black and white, it looks interesting. But here it's just all contained in like one, almost like a circle squished kind of thing. But it looks good. It's just a recommendation to make the silhouette interesting, but you can limit it to like a basic shape and constrain it into like one area. Oh, we've seen this guy in the trailer. I think he's voiced by the Demon Slayer guy, Anjiro. The voice sounds so familiar. So he's like a shark guy, but he's a different kind of shark. He can swim through walls. That's a very interesting concept. I do like this montage kind of look where it's different sketches, same character, but because it kind of looks. Oh, they have like a white border too in the around the first sketch. I like the way it's painted. Oh, this time they're using orange for the that saturated orange for the in between kind of thing, subsurface thing. It looks really good. It makes more. It's more used in like skin, right? Why? Oh, let me just open the more recent one as well. I haven't seen this. I've seen fan art of her, but I haven't seen her in the new trailer even. So it's Denji, and oh, it's in her neck. She has to pull it from her neck, and then she like unlocks her devilish powers. I think Denji is like the victim in the show, right? Like he's always surrounded by, like he's driven by his lust. And he's always yearning for some kind of connection, but all the women in his life know that. Because, well, technically they're all older than him. That's my understanding. So he can't. I don't know. He doesn't have guidance, I guess. He's sort of trapped in this world of being pulled in all sorts of directions. Anyway, so same setup like the cyan, blue kind of highlight, and the red background. And yeah, I don't even see like their typical watercolor edged round brush. It's a basic round brush in this case. Very interesting. Oh, I like the hands. If you can draw like the well, even the outer side, but you can draw like the inside, like the palm of your hand, and how the fats kind of squish and fold into each other. To me, that's a good sign of understanding hands, because you know, oftentimes for the face, yes, it's like anime, so it's gonna be a bit more stylized. For example, the nose, it's gonna be quite simplified, so you may expect the same thing for the hands and maybe feet, but sometimes they kind of go more realistic with like the hands or feet. In this case, we haven't seen any foot shots, so it's fine. We can find stuff in different after this review. But the hands look really good. They look really good. So we'll end with our friend here. I forgot. I don't know her name, but she looks cool. And I think it's her ear. In the fan art I've seen it, she has to pull something from her ear. I think there it is, a triangle thing. I like the way the reds and the greens are working together. And look at how they're actually complementary colors, right? Red and green. So they're kind of applying that in this piece. Right, the inks just look. Is it ink? Or maybe it's charcoal, or maybe there's the same brush they're using, but it has a nice texture to it. Or it also looks like a dry brush pen sometimes. But do you see how it looks so rich? Oh, in the background, I do see them painting like a bit of a cityscape, just a rough indication of one. It looks nice. Some gradients for like the green, right, and the reds as you go further down. But aside from that, the character themselves, it's so freaking like rich. That black sort of ink work or charcoal kind of look. I think it has like a brush pen kind of look. You know, the one that you have to like add ink. Ugh, no shit. Just think Kim Jung-gi. In the Kuretake types of brush pens where you have to like, it's kind of thick. And it has that vibe a little bit. Like the dress, first of all, the shirt, lots of different blues in there, very rich in terms of value, right? Different types of blue. Some blues are a lot more saturated than others, and you will see the more saturated ones in like this one in the shadow, right? Interesting. Okay. Add a bit of life, I guess. And for this like black part or this top dress, I don't even know where to begin with something like this, because it looks so impressionistic, which is kind of my thing. Do you see how you have so many lines here, but it's not cluttered for the hand that's coming at you? Kind of gestural, kind of loose, but it's not like cluttered. I'm guessing they do have like an initial sketch, and then even if they do like the final lines, they still make it. They make sure there's energy in it, meaning it's not too like clean. Because you can lose it if you make it too clean, or too like yeah. Interesting. Like it's so chaotic, but it kind of makes sense to me. Right? The greens against the reds. Look at how saturated that red is. And then this is borderline black. Nice gradient here. I'm guessing this black part or this red part is in its own layer maybe. So I'm guessing all of this is like play in layer modes. You have to use quite a bit of layers to achieve this kind of look. because you're separating, for example, the red part. I think they paint the red is in. I'm guessing the red is in its own layer, and then they added the gradient on top. You could make it its own layer, or you could just use like a quick mask or something, or select that specific color and then add it through that means. There's a bit of red, like a highlight. It's not so, but it doesn't reflect like the lighting so much of the environment. Maybe, well, maybe a little bit because the background is red, right? But in the edge here, you can see like a light red line. Not too much though. It kind of reminds me of some of the strokes of. Excuse me. There's this watercolor painter, one of my favorite painters. Watercolor painters. You could even say my most favorite one. Alvaro Castañer. Or I just in my head I spell it Castagnet because that's how you spell his name. Castañer. Alvaro. Just search for Alvaro Castagnet or Castañer. The way, for example, when he adds his like signature in the end with I think he even uses gouache because it's a little more opaque. It kind of has that vibe where it has like one part is going to be thin, other parts are going to be like thick. Like it has a brush kind of feel to it. It's like a finishing touch when you like add highlights or stuff like that, or the signature. And he likes to use red a lot in his work, so I don't know, kind of reminded me of him just a bit. So I'm going to stop this review because I think we've tackled quite a bit, and we're at 30 minutes plus. So I'm going to link this page in the description below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.